Awesome stuff. That was Call Her Name by the Alrights. Hi, DJ Tina here, host of HMTV Canada Easing. With me today is Toby of the Alrights. Hi Toby, welcome.
Hey.
I really dig the variation of sounds in your song tracks, Getting Ready for Love, All This Time, When I Get Born, Love, Love, Love. They range from classic rock, soul, blues, the punk rock vibe. One song track, All I Know, is rich in rock and roll and reminds me of the Beatles.
Sure.
Who write your kick-ass lyrics?
Well, first of all, I appreciate it. Thank you. I write most of the tunes and the lyrics. The song Love, 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 neither other. Danny, the bass player, that's his. Otherwise, they are mine.
With the mixed expression and themes of romance and relationships, non-existence to life and death, these songs create powerful imagery. Do you plan on putting any video tracks together from your song tracks?
We do actually. We want to do some video stuff. We just want to kind of do it in a way where I kind of have a philosophy that if you're going to do video stuff, it better kind of, the budget's going to be pretty small, so we want to write to that. Mm-hmm. We want to have the video concept kind of be in keeping with how minimal the budget is, and we have some ideas for how to do that. Not that we would do anything quirky like this, but what comes to mind is, who's it? Was it Clap Your Hands, Say Yeah, or is it OK Go? I forget. One of those bands. They did that one where they're all on the treadmills together. There's a band that probably didn't have a very big budget, but put a pretty good video together. So we won't try to be that cute, but if you follow me.
Can you tell us about your recent album, Meeting of the St. Louis Country League Volunteer Astronauts, excerpts from keynote addresses? That name beats any record album name from your previous album, High School. And why the long name?
We wanted to put together an EP. That's kind of what we had agreed to with the label, and everybody was happy with that. So we went in, we started recording, and as it moved along, we were just trying to think of different names and things. We didn't want to take it too seriously. We wanted to, if it was a full length, we were going to maybe call it The Last Album, kind of a shout out to the dying album and the birth of the emergence of the MP3 and the download. But so I just thought we'd have a silly, nonsensical name too. And then the county we live in is St. Louis, so that's that.
Okay.
I thought the concept of a volunteer astronaut was pretty funny. There's not really much else to know about that.
Are you working on any new material or coming out with a new album in 2009?
Well, we have that, like the song Getting Ready for Love, which there's another song like that called How Long. Those are the two new digital downloads. Mm-hmm. In the end, they'll probably end up, it seems like they'll end up with the EP or most of what's on the EP, and we'll add maybe 4 or 5 new tracks at some point in the year, and release a full length with most of that EP on it and some new stuff. So yes is the answer to your question.
Any ideas of the name on your new album? Is it going to be a long one like the last one?
It's going to be even longer. We're just going to go for it. We're just going to throw caution to the wind, and it's going to be like 30, 40, 50 words.
That's funny. Has there been
I'm serious. I'm kidding. Okay, anyway.
Has there been any challenges in producing these albums in the journey that they've taken to the recording, the mixing, or the mastering process?
Well, I guess they're all kind of their own little odyssey. I'm sure most bands and artists would agree with that. We had an album prior to that one, full length that we kind of did. We were pretty wet behind the ears at the time, and just trying to figure out what we were doing and who we were, and really how to record. So it was kind of has its ups and downs. This EP there that you have, something we're pretty excited about. It was our second attempt. We wanted to get it right. We feel we did pretty well. We ended up hooking up with a guy out of Minneapolis, recorded that with us. He does a lot of Andrew Bird stuff, so we were pretty impressed by that. We went to go record with him, and it was just one of those things where you feel damn happy after it. And so it was a good move for us. We made the right choice. We're going to continue to record with that fellow. In fact, the two digital tunes, the two digital downloads, as opposed to the analog tunes that we. Anyways, we did those the two new ones. with that guy as well, and I think we're just going to continue on doing tunes with this fella. So I don't know if it was your question, an odyssey, or that's what I called it. Yes, whatever the question was, the answer is yes. Most difficult, trying thing of our lives. By the time the album came out, we all had to go to the spa for 3 months and recuperate, and Danny actually passed away, and we had to get a replacement.
Oh, no.
And things like that.
Now, with these new songs that you're coming out with in 2009, are you trying new things? Are you going to be changing your sound or tweaking it a little bit?
Well, and you alluded to it earlier, that we kind of have a broad sound. And we do, and that's us, and for better or for worse, sometimes it seems like it's one, and sometimes it seems like it's the other. But yeah, we're going to continue to do that. So what we record in the future is going to be, I'm sure it'll be different than the EP. And we are going to definitely take some serious chances, really we try to go for broke, whatever that means to us at that time, every time we're going to record. I imagine most bands probably feel that way too, I would hope so. So yes.
Can you tell us about your current lineup briefly and what kind of party animals everyone is?
Oh, boy, I tell you, you and your listeners are going to be terribly disappointed. We're all old men. We're all in our 30s, our early 30s. The lineup is me. I'm 31, so I'm the youngest, if that tells you anything. And we love what we do. We play music. We do some touring around, and, we have our little bits of fun, of course, but we don't really do much of the hooting and hollering and whooping it up. That was kind of the 20-year-olds us, and we had to too old now. Our backs hurt. Danny's actually developed some chronic arthritis, and so I'm kidding. That was more allusions to us being old. But yeah, we do our thing. I mean, wait, yes, we party like I'm partying right now.
You party like rock stars, right?
That's right.
So is it just the 4 members?
Three of us.
Okay. Who are the current members in the All Rights now that are left?
That are left? Oh, it's only the 3 of us that's all it's ever been. We haven't ever replaced a member or added one.
Okay.
Me, I'm Toby, and then I do the singing and the playing of the guitar and the piano playing, and Danny plays the bass and he does some singing, and then we have drummer Chad, who goes by Chavo sometimes. That's all I have to say about that.
I understand the All Rights have done some extensive touring. Can you tell me about your live shows and whether you have some backup players playing live gigs with the All Rights?
Well, again, it's just really the 3 of us. We kind of try to round out the sound as much as we can, and we do a fair job of it. We have a kind of harmonies going, and, Danny will be doing sometimes a complicated bass line and still manages to sing his bit, and me too, and we can kind of tend to sound like 4 sometimes, or at least that's what we tell people. But as far as the touring goes, yeah, we've done our fair share. We've been out east 3 times, or 4, I forget now, to New York and Connecticut and Vermont and those areas, and everything in between. We're in Minnesota, for those who don't know, which I'm imagining is everyone. We've toured the Midwest a lot. We've been out to Chicago and down through Kansas. We've been out to Colorado and Utah and all those kinds of places. We've been most places except the kind of the middle south, and we've never been out west. But yeah, and it's kind of a mixed bag. You go out, you play with shows. Some are great, some are not. Some have a lot of people, some don't. You play with some cool bands. You play with some not so cool bands. You sleep on some floors. You sleep in the van sometimes. Sometimes you sleep in a hotel. It really is at this stage for us. It's a total mixed bag, and but mostly it's a good experience to go out, and if you're in a band, I mean, even in the days of the internet, you really still need to get out and do the touring thing. So,
do you have any wild stories to tell while you're on your tours?
Wild stories. See, again, I know it's probably going to disappoint. We don't. We're really not much of we're not much of like the metal rock and roll-y kind of, with buses and scantily clad women and drunk fest. Yeah, I don't even know what the goofiest things that happened to us on tour are. Danny, what do you think? You think of anything that happened? I remember that our drummer threw one of our buddies through a wall at a hotel. I guess that's kind of rock and roll-y, right?
Yeah.
But that guy had it coming. Coming. He needed to go through that wall, if anybody ever did, ever. Ooh. That guy was the guy for that wall. Anyway, so yeah, it's mostly, it's actually, kind of boring during the day. You get in the van, you drive to the next town, a lot of sitting around, you have to see the same ugly mugs every day, all day long. It's kind of tedious. But then, of course, you get to rock and roll at the end of the day, and it kind of makes all that worthwhile.
Do you have, like, a good turnout of fans and sell lots of CDs and merchandise at your live performances?
In our neighborhood, we do. We're in Minnesota, like I said, we're in northern Minnesota, a place called Duluth, and we do, we might as well be the Rolling Stones up here. But and then down in Minneapolis, kind of the middle area of the state there, we have a good little following, too, and it's and around the Midwest a little bit. And, and then out on the road in places that aren't familiar with us, it's a total mixed bag. It really, really depends on how many people go to see the bands you're booked with, which is kind of part of the game if you're an outsider band, Mm-hmm. So on nights where the crowds are good and people are into it, sure, merch gets sold. On days where that's not the case, well, might as well not even open up the merch bin.
Are you still actively playing live shows in support of schools' music programs?
Actually, yeah, we have done some stuff. We just did one recently there at a place called Mr. D's here out. It's just in Duluth, and this nice group of people did put together a benefit for local music programs and stuff. So we were happy to be a part of that. And all the kind of impressive folks from northern Minnesota, a lot of them were in attendance, and it was a pretty big show. So yeah, we like doing stuff like that. In fact, I feel like we probably play, not school music related, but we play probably 2 or 3 benefits a year for one thing or another, you know. Plus, it's the kind of thing where if somebody asks you to play a benefit for cancer, you can't really go, no, you know, we don't really want to fight cancer. So, you know, you're kind of obligated. He said with some mild sarcasm, haha.
Can you tell us about your video Superman? Where on location was this film?
Yeah, that was filmed like on our first tour. We went out with a young kind of emo band. It was kind of a funny fit, but when it's your first tour, you're just happy to be out. I think they filmed us in a place called Papillion, Kansas, which I always assumed was Nebraska, excuse me, which I always thought was pronounced Papillon based on the movie with Steve McQueen. You know that one. But it was Papillion. Anyways, actually, the reason I say archives is that could be a chance for somebody to see us be a little bit more reserved on a stage as we kind of a little bit more comfortable in our skin these days.
Do you plan on putting any videos like studio reports of your recording of your songs or any videos while on location or touring?
Yeah, you know, actually that's the kind of stuff that I guess you really don't need a budget for, which is, we were just talking about this a couple of weeks ago. I know a guy who's going to come out and do some filming of us play live, and that's always good, and that doesn't really take any kind of budget or any kind of particular nuance or talent as far as the filming and editing go, generally. So now that I said that, some video film student is going to call and complain, but anyways, yes, we're gonna do some documentation of us playing live. You got it, right?
Yeah, and some of the bands are starting to do studio reports where they're putting together the song tracks and mixing them down in the studio and documenting them on video.
Yeah, you know, that's a fun, good idea. I definitely wouldn't want in the process of doing that. I'd love it to be, you know, as candid as possible and not, you know, have a sense that we're trying to perform a bit while we're doing that. I just wouldn't want it to seem too self-important. But if it's filmed and done right, and you know, everybody's kind of comfortable with whoever's behind the camera, that would be very fun to do.
Can you tell us the highlights of the radio play report, the All Rights completed in an 8-week time frame, which was college and independent radio campaign?
Well, you know, we've had our fair share of some various radio, internet stuff. We've done a lot of these type of internet radio interviews. We get a lot of play that way, and some have some pretty wide audience, and some don't. And that goes for a lot of the other types of radio that we've done. We actually, a big AAA station out of Minneapolis called The Current, which I guess ends up getting streamed somewhat nationally because it's just kind of a respected indie kind of playlist. We had some play in rotation on that. We actually started off just being played on the local regional show, and then they kind of expanded us out to their regular rotation, kind of unexpectedly, frankly. They weren't really poked or prodded into doing that. They just kind of did that. So we were pretty pleased about that. And we're doing a campaign this year where we're really trying to get as much of that as we can. AAA and college radio is kind of what we feel best fitted for, and we'll see what happens. Maybe they'll play it, maybe they won't.
Basically, what are your plans for 2009? Like, what do you want to achieve and what do you want to get done? And with regard to your career, where you want to take this?
Well, you know, we just want to, whatever level you're at, you know, you just hope to kind of climb to the next rung or two. You know, you definitely kind of keep your eyes focused a foot in front of you as opposed to down the block. As far as, you know, what to expect or what one should expect success-wise, we just want to get more radio play. We want to get out there more. We want to get back out on the road. We kind of didn't tour a lot in 2008. Had a couple of little mini stints. We have some new stuff that we're working on that we'll, I imagine, eventually record maybe in the summer, and we feel like we've really taken it to yet another level. So I'm hoping by fall we're talking, the All Rights are doing a college tour. We're getting some decent little radio play, and we've got some impressive new tunes, and just killing it when we're out there. That's about it. I can't really say much beyond that. It's kind of in the hands of Providence after that.
Before we wrap up our interview, do you have any shout-outs?
I would like to give a shout-out Gandhi to Socrates, to King Kong, to, did I mention King Kong yet?
Yeah, you did. Anything to your fans?
King Kong's wife. Well, you know what? To all the listeners who do know who we are, we obviously really appreciate it. That it excites us. I mean, obviously, that's kind of that's the deal. You want to increase the fan base and hope that they stay with you as you grow and make new albums and stuff. It sounds a bit corny, but that's obviously true. I'm sure anybody would agree with that. So yeah, I don't know if I'm much of a shout out guy. I might have to release a hip-hop record first. That sounds boring.
Maybe do a song and dance.
Right. You just have to imagine.
Oh, okay.
I'm not wearing any pants right now, if that helps.
Oh my God.
Understand?
Can you plug in your web addresses?
Sure. We got theallrights.com. We've got myspace.com/theallrights. I spelled one L, one word. The All Rights or All Rights is. Anyway, that's my story with those. I don't know if they have a Facebook too, but I forget what the. I'm never on that one. I hear good things though.
Yeah, everybody from Canada's on Facebook, but
Facebook kind of the latest and greatest is the most preferred. It seems that's great. I just
Well, the good thing about Facebook, when you send comments out, you don't have that gotcha copper code that you have to plug in every time you send a comment.
There you go. Facebook, the wave of the future.
And you want to know something else? Every time you post up a picture and you post up like an interview link under that picture, it becomes live. Did you know?
That's right. Somebody was telling me about that. Well, yeah, no, I'm a poor representative of what we do and maintain in our band as far as website. I write the song. Somebody else deals with the sites more than I do as far as making sure that those things are taken care of. So if it sounds like I don't know what I'm talking about with Facebook, well, you can rest assured that somebody does.
There's a lot of band group profiles up there. It's a really good marketing tool.
Right, we do have that.
Yeah.
Like I said, I
just look for the All Rights.
Somebody else in my band is working on the Facebook. You see.
Yeah, just look out for the All Rights on Facebook and you'll find them. Okay, well, I want to thank City Canyon Records for the opportunity to interview the All Rights, and Toby, thank you. You rock.
Well, thank you so much.